What's up, guys? We are the Guild Masters of Anime. I am your DM, Ibex. Here's my DMA.
Yori, what's up, guys?
And so today we are going back to, again, my favorite anime, Bleach. Bringing one of the most interesting, twisted, crazy character, Mayuri Kurotsuchi.
There's a lot of words you could put to him.
A lot of words. Some good, some not so good. It just kind of depends on you.
A little bit.
Love it, yeah.
So, this one's going to be a little weird.
That's a word you could put towards Mayuri.
I mean, yeah. But it's weird because, like the other Soul Reapers, he is a Paladin. But he doesn't focus on using his sword and the mystical powers of spirit energy. He focuses on science and the application of spirit energy and things like that into science.
Exactly.
So, this build is going to be a little weird. You're going to start by being a Simic hybrid for the race. Mainly because we have no idea what race he actually is.
And
or was.
Yeah, like he's always modifying and changing himself. And that is actually one of the traits of the Simic hybrids.
Yep.
Is that they are enhancing themselves with animal parts.
Yeah.
So, if as a Simic hybrid, your Constitution is going to be increased by 2, and you get to choose one ability score that you're going to increase as well. We recommend Intelligence being the first one that you focus on getting to 20 as quick as you can. Because that's going to feed a lot into the main class that he is.
Not only that, but he himself is actually super intelligent.
That's true.
It fits the character.
Exactly. Now, for the animal enhancement, by the time you get to level 20, you get to choose 2 enhancements of your choice. You have 6 different ones you can choose from. Pick whichever one you feel fits best for how you want to run it. We recommend the Carapace giving that extra bonus to your AC and the grappling appendages, because as anyone who has watched the Mayuri versus Uryu fight, his little ear things became scythe on an end of a tendril. It's terrifying, but grappling appendages.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you can make an argument for any of the adaptations because he is smart enough to take any of them.
Yeah.
But those 2 are the ones that fit him the best. And, again, pick whichever ones that fit your playstyle.
Exactly.
So, the classes are, obviously, Paladin. And the second class, the class that you are going to dump 15 levels into, is Artificer.
Because, as we said, he's a scientist by nature.
Yep.
He likes tinkering and working and changing on things, and that is what artificers do in D&D.
Yep. Artificers are literally the scientist of magic. He is the scientist of spirit energy. So, It's a match made in heaven.
Heaven?
I mean, it was made somewhere.
It was made somewhere. Put a name to it. I would, yeah. So, first level Artificer, you're gonna get some proficiencies. Me personally, I recommend Arcana and Nature because, as you already said, he focuses on the study of like the spiritual energy, or in D&D terms, magic, which is your Arcana, and then Nature because he studies how nature works and how he can improve it and make it better, including himself.
Yep.
And the tools that you are going to pick to give yourself proficiency with is Alchemist Supplies, because he's always concocting new potions, new spells. Like, he's always doing something. He's always making something.
Yep. New drugs, new things.
Yeah.
Honestly, the thing that he hit Ice Guy. Forgot his name already.
Hitsugaya?
Hitsugaya, yeah. The thing he hit Hitsugaya with during the 1,000-Year Blood War, the reset loop. Oh, man.
That was wonderful. Now, you do get spellcasting and magical tinkering, which magical tinkering is you basically get a mundane item, and you're able to infuse some of the magical energies into it for it to do minor things. Nothing too crazy. More of an annoyance kind of thing, which I 100% seeing Mayuri doing to mess with people if he's bored.
Yeah. Not only that, he would be practical about it as well.
That too. Yes, absolutely
there are-
practical, but at times, just annoyance.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But honestly, like if you're gonna play Mayuri in D&D, put yourself in the position of how can I use this tactfully. Everything that he did was always in preparation for something else.
Yes.
That's why he was so focused on improving.
Like we said, he's a very intelligent person, and so he's constantly thinking, planning, and making backup plans.
Yeah. So level 2, you're going to get infuse item, which you're going to get some infusions. By the time this is done at 15 levels, you get what? How many?
11 choices.
11 choices. Yeah, that's a lot. So the ones that we recommend going for, again, customize this however you want. But the ones we recommend going for are Homunculus Servant, because those who are fans of D&D know, I mean not D&D, fans of Bleach.
Yes.
Know that his lieutenant is not technically a person. It is something that he made.
It's a construct.
Yeah. So you're going to take Homunculus Servant. This is going to be Nemu. This is going to be your lieutenant.
Yes.
You also want to take Mind Sharpener. This lets you, whenever you fail a Constitution saving throw to maintain a spell, you can use your reaction to succeed instead. It's very rare for him to lose focus.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to say that he implanted a chip in his brain to focus himself.
And I mean, like, if you think about, like, when he was fighting the Espada, the Espada scientist, there was a moment where he acted like, oh no, I've lost, I don't know what to do, I'm confused.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Not really. Like, exactly. I knew what I was doing, I knew what was going on.
Yeah. So it's very hard to get the drop on him. It's very hard to make him lose focus of the situation. That's what Mind Sharpener is going to do.
Now, the other 9, you can choose, and you can pick and choose however you want. It really comes down to your taste and your flavor.
True.
Those 2 are just the ones that we recommend if you're trying to build as true to Mayuri as you can.
Yes.
Now, at level 3, this is where it gets fun.
Oh, yeah.
At level 3, you get your Artificer Specialist, which we looked at the list, and the only one that makes sense for a Mayuri is Alchemist.
Yep.
Like we said, he's constantly brewing up new potions, constantly creating new items. It makes the most sense for him.
It does.
You also get the right tools for the job, which the tools that you have, the tools you have proficiency with, you've learned how to make them work for whatever task, whatever job it is you have. Mm-hmm. Even if it's not necessarily the one that you should be using, you can make it work.
Yeah. At 3rd level, on top of all of that, you also get another tool proficiency, and you also get alchemist spells. Mm-hmm. And this is the important part, you're going to get experimental elixir. So whenever you finish a long rest, you're able to make an experimental elixir in an empty flask. You roll, and you will get a different elixir. There are healing elixirs, swiftness, resilience, boldness, flight, and transformation. Yes. I am very tired. Okay.
And what's funny is Mayuri is not always 100% sure what something he makes is going to do until he tests it out. Yep. And who better than his party members?
Yeah. Or himself. After it succeeds or fails, depending on the potion. But level 4, obviously, you get an ASI. We'll go over the feats at the end like we always do. Mm-hmm. But in this case, you'll want to try and bump your intelligence, because that is going to be what artificers use the most. Yes. And honestly, I would recommend focusing on intelligence and constitution, because it is very hard to take him down.
It is, yeah. So intelligence and constitution are definitely going to be your main 2 ability scores that you're going to be looking at. Mm-hmm.
5th level, you're going to get alchemical savant. Basically, you're able to enhance the healing and damage you create whenever you cast a spell or use your alchemist supplies.
Those potions, man, they could be very good or very bad.
Yeah. This will let you add your intelligence modifier to healing potions or damaging potions.
Yep. Now at level 6, you get tool expertise, which allows you to double your proficiency bonus to any rolls you are using with your tools that you have proficiency with. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think I even have to explain that one. No. I don't think I really even explained that one. That one's just straightforward.
It is. So level 7, you're gonna get Flash of Genius. This one makes all artificers the bane of every DM. Okay, because Flash of Genius lets you come up with solutions under pressure. Basically, you're able to add your intelligence modifier to you or another creature within 30 feet whenever they make an ability check or a saving throw. So
to you.
To you, yeah.
To you.
He wouldn't focus on anybody else. Even Nemu is not important enough for him to really care about.
No.
So if you're following our build, you will have a +5 to any saving throw, any ability check, and your DM is going to hate you.
And that's on top of what you already get from that save or ability check.
Exactly.
It can be a lot.
It can be a lot. And trust me, your DM is going to hate you.
Absolutely. Now, level 8, again, another ASI. Mm-hmm. Number 9, you get Restorative Regents. Mm-hmm. Where this one, whenever a creature drinks the experimental elixir that you created, it gives them temporary HP of 2d6 plus your intelligence modifier. So while you're not quite sure what it does, you want to keep them alive long enough to test the experiment. Yeah. Get data, get results, and see what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. It also allows you to cast the Lesser Restoration spell without expending a spell slot and without having to prepare it. Mm-hmm. So it is automatically available, ready to go at all times. You do have to finish a long rest after you use it, though. So it's not a consistent, just use it over and over and over again.
But you do get uses equal to your intelligence score. So we're looking at least 5.
At least 5.
Mm-hmm.
Saying if people ask, like, why would he use Lesser Restoration on other people? I refer back to the fight with the Espada Scientist. When Nemu had been drained of all of her life energy for him to be reborn, and Mayuri fixed her.
Don't ask how.
We don't know how. We know
don't ask how.
We know what we heard. We saw Uryu and Renji's reactions. We don't want to know.
Yeah. Level 10, you're gonna get Magic Item Adept. So this will let you attune up to 4 magic items at once instead of the normal 3. And if you craft a magic item with a rarity of common or uncommon, it takes you a quarter of the normal time and costs you half as much of the usual gold.
Yep.
So this will let you make a lot more items and use more of them for yourself.
Yes.
You gotta keep those experiments rolling, man.
Exactly, man. It's all about the experiments, about the data.
Exactly.
Improving life.
Okay, Mayuri.
Shush. Level 11, you get the spell storing item. Mm-hmm. So basically, at level 11, after you finish a long rest, you can take a simple or martial weapon or an item that can be used as a spellcasting focus and store a first or second level spell into that item. Mm-hmm. And after you do that, any person can use that spell just by using the action to basically release it.
Yep.
So, I mean, you gotta set up those mobile fireballs, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's one way to do it. Or you could set up different spells. It has to be from the Artificer spell list.
Yes.
But then pass around the items and just see what your party does with it.
Right?
I mean, hey, he passes out magical equipment to the ranks of the Soul Reapers all the time. Sometimes experimental. Sometimes the effect doesn't quite work the way that he describes.
And you know what he says. Once the item goes out, it does not come back.
Exactly.
It shouldn't come back.
Yeah. Level 12 is another ASI. Level 13, you get nothing. Level 14, you get magic item Savant. So now you can get 5 magic items at once. And you can ignore all this class, race, spell, and level requirements to attuning to the magic item.
Yep.
That opens up a whole world of magic items to use.
Much. Once you get to level 14, your DM has to be very careful about what he puts out there for the party.
Mm-hmm.
Because he could design this for one specific party member to use, but then you can come up and be like, "No, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
Because I can do much more with it."
Yeah. I mean, you're the genius.
Exactly. Now at level 15, you get Chemical Mastery, which gives you resistance to acid and poison damage, and you are immune to the poison condition.
Yep.
And this one allows you to, where you could only cast lesser restoration, you can now cast greater restoration.
Yep.
Without expending spell slot and without having it prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, that versatility.
Yeah. I mean, this one ability sold me for Artificer for Mayuri, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, his Sunfuck has poison and acid.
Yep.
Or acidic poison, however you want to look at it.
Depends on which Bankai you're referring to.
It melted
he
things.
He even modifies his Bankai.
Yeah, but he melted things, okay?
He did.
And he's just standing in the middle of it.
Yeah, completely, like, unaffected.
Yep.
So now we're going to move on to Paladin, which is going to take, like we said, 5 levels.
Yep. Honestly, just build-wise, I would suggest knocking out the 5 levels of Paladin first or soon in the build, just because you'll get it out of the way, and 2, it is how do you put it, useful. It is useful at 5th level.
Yes. Now, the first level, you obviously get some hit points, proficiencies, divine sense, lay on hands. We all know what that is, so we're not going to cover that.
Yep.
Level 2, you get your divine smite, your spell casting, and your fighting style, which, while Mayuri does not use his sword very often, he does only use a single sword and a single hand.
Yep.
So, fighting style, you'll go dueling.
Yep.
Giving you, again, that bonus to your damage rolls.
Yep.
Because he may not hit that often, but when he does, it has an impact.
He does know how to use the sword. He just doesn't deign to use it.
Exactly. It feels like it's beneath him.
Basically. Level 2, you get your spell casting for Paladin. Honestly, not here for a lot of it.
I already said that.
Yeah. Well, no, not for spell casting. You get that at level 2, not 1.
I said you get your divine smite, spellcasting,
Oh,
and
my
your
bad.
fighting style.
I was not paying that much attention.
That's okay.
So, level 3, you get your Sacred Oath. This one we had to kind of debate and go back and forth on, but we settled on the Oath of Conquest.
I originally was wanting to go Oathbreaker because when you first get, not first, but when you get his backstory, he's a criminal. But when Yori brought up the Oath of Conquest and we read through what it was, it made so much more sense.
Yeah.
Like, frighteningly so.
Yep. Editor, if you can put up a little snippet of the Conquest lines, it would actually be helpful.
Yeah, very much so.
But at 3rd level, you get Oath of Conquest. Your channel divinity is going to be Conquering Presence, which lets you, as an action, force each creature of your choice within 30 feet to make a wisdom saving throw. If they fail, they're frightened of you for 1 minute, and they get to repeat their rolls at the end of their turns. You also can take Guided Strike, so you can use your divinity to add
a plus 10.
Plus 10, thank you. You get to add plus 10 to an attack roll. So, again, Mayuri will hit. He does know how to use the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Or any of the magic items that you now will have at your disposal. And your DM will, again, hate you.
Absolutely. Level 4, again, another ASI. And level 5 is your extra attack.
Yep.
Nice and simple.
Yeah, it is. But this is what I was saying, right? 5th level extra attack is always great. Especially if you don't want to just rely on spellcasting.
Yes.
If you want to, use your alchemical spells or alchemical elixirs and things like that, it's good to have 2 attack actions.
Yes. So, now we're going to go over his background real quick. Yes. This one, as a Simic hybrid, you get access to a very specific background called a Simic Scientist. The name says it all for itself.
Yep.
He's a scientist. wants to make scientists. Makes perfect sense.
Yep.
You gain proficiencies in medicine and one of your choice. We recommend investigation because you got to study those experiments.
Yep.
You got to get the data and investigate them and make sure that you're getting everything down just right.
Oh, yeah.
And now for the fun part.
Yep.
So for the spells, we usually just kind of go like really briefly over it. Anything poison, acid, or
necrotic,
or any spells that you can use to modify yourself or other people, like polymorph.
Yeah.
Because he's not only he doesn't only modify himself, he modifies other people, sometimes against their will.
I mean, they don't know better.
He
knows better.
They don't know as much as he does, so he obviously knows better.
Exactly.
So if you're wanting to stick with as true a build of Mayuri as you can, those will be the types of spells you're going to look for.
Yeah.
Obviously, you do have wiggle room as to what kind of spells you want to use because you never know what to expect from Mayuri.
Yeah. I will say this, as a Soul Reaper, he does have access to all of the keto spells and everything else, which means that any spell on the list can fit any Soul Reaper.
Yep.
So, that's fun.
Absolutely. Alright, so now the fun part of going over the feats.
Yep.
So the first one that we recommend is Keen Mind. Increase your intelligence score by 1. Makes sense. You always know which way is north and how many hours are left before sunrise or sunset. So you always know the time.
Yep.
Mayuri has a very keen mind. He's very sharp. He's very intelligent. And this just nails that just drives that nail home so well.
You can also accurately recall anything you've seen or heard within the past month.
Yes,
and that is the important part.
Yes.
Knowing north and knowing the time, those are impressive little parlor tricks, but being able to remember anything within the last month, in D&D speak, that is very overpowered.
And speaking with scientists, yeah.
You got to be able to keep all that data in your head, right?
Exactly, man, exactly.
Even if your head is a CPU, because I think that's how his brain works, isn't it?
We don't ask questions.
Okay.
We don't ask questions we don't want answers to.
So, next is going to be my favorite one again, because every character should have this, alert.
And it does make sense for Mayuri.
It does.
To have it.
It does. He's usually the first person to know what's going on.
Yes.
So, alert, you get +5 to your initiative rolls, and you cannot be surprised as long as you are conscious. That is it's great. It's great. Because you don't get the drop on Mayuri.
No,
he gets the drop on you.
Exactly. He always knows what's coming. He is so smart. He can outsmart anyone.
Yep. Except Urahara.
We don't talk about him. So the next one is going to be Poisoner, because as we said previously, his Bankais and his Shikai, they all use poison of different types. So it allows your poison damage to ignore resistance to poison, and you can apply any poison that you have to a weapon or piece of ammunition as a bonus action, and it gains proficiency with Poisoner Kit.
Yep.
That just makes too much sense.
It does,
it's too
because
perfect for
his poison can poison.
His poison can poison.
That sentence makes sense.
I believe we've actually seen that happen in Bleach before. His poisoned poison.
I think it did.
It did.
I think it did. His poison was so poisonous that it poison.
Exactly.
And next, we recommend taking Cruel. So this will give you 6 cruelty dice. They are D6s. You can roll a cruelty dice. When you roll.
So when you deal damage to a creature,
Yeah, when you deal damage to a creature, you can add extra damage by rolling your cruelty dice. When you score a critical hit, you can spend a cruelty dice to gain temporary HP equal to the roll. And when you make a charisma intimidation check, you can spend another dice, add to your roll.
Yep. Because Mayuri is not the most charismatic.
He's not.
But when it comes to intimidation, he far outshines
a lot of people. Mainly because you don't want to end up on his lab table.
Not at all. And sometimes you don't have a choice.
Sometimes you don't.
Sometimes you don't.
He will intimidate you so hard that you end up on the table.
I know. Alright, guys, that is going to be all that we have for you today. As always, please let us know what you think of the build down in the comment below. And if you have an anime character that you want to see turned into a playable D&D character, leave it in the comments down below. We do read them, and we will make those builds for you. Until then, take it easy, and